is this drooping? Who cares? Peekaboo! Hello, yogis. Welcome to my yoga mat. How are you? How are things? Take a breath. Take an inhale and an exhale. Let it go. That is what this morning or today will be about. Just coming back to what is fulfilling, a little bit of recentering. It is one of those beautiful days where you have all of the opportunity and potential just in front of you. It's that choice of how you want to unleash it. Finding energy and strength and motivation to tackle the things on your list, on your dream board, those opportunities that come by, and maybe you weren't even planning on today. Being aware of them, seeing them, grabbing hold. Or maybe to soften. Take things easy, to celebrate maybe the work that you have been doing. Letting this be a day of rest or gentleness. Recognizing that both are important. That seizing the moment can be seizing some stillness. That there's no perfect answer. But asking the body what it needs, asking the mind what it needs, and being honest there. Sometimes we like to think or justify our actions. They're working hard. Some people cope with stress by getting really busy and doing many things. Other people cope by slowing things down and kind of hitting that freeze button. So being honest with where you're at. Checking in with the body and mind. Just kind of get ready here. Maybe you start to come back to the breath. So you find the inhale and the exhale. Feel how that moves throughout the body. Start to relax those shoulders back and down. Take those extra few moments just to gaze within. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to really get honest with what we're observing or seeing or feeling. Part of the key of the journey is to do so without judgment. There's no point getting upset if you're one or the other, or anywhere on that spectrum. If you're not where you want to be, that's okay. You at least now see the direction you're facing. Pivot and adjust. Today is a yin-yang style of class. We'll take a little bit of movement this morning, just some gentle stretching, just to kind of focus on letting the body feel good, waking it up just a bit. And we'll slow things down with more of that restorative style, those longer holds. You can also let it be more of a yin style if you want that challenge of stillness and into the mind. Great option there too. But just that balance of movement and stillness, a little of each. Taking another big, full breath in, really starting to breathe with the diaphragm, letting the breath go low as we inhale. Letting it all all out as you exhale. Setting your intention. Finding a little word or phrase, a little motivation. Maybe it's a little mantra or life verse. Something that's gonna keep you going or keep you anchored in this practice. And we'll softly start to find some movement. A little wiggles through the fingers. Maybe start to roll into the wrists. Finding a movement through the feet, the toes. Maybe you curl the toes, curling all the way to the arches. Maybe start to roll the ankles or find just a little movements or squeezes through the legs. If you're in a nice seated position to start with, let's roll things back and down. Starting in your recline. You can have the knees bent, the feet planted if you choose. You can have the legs extended long. You can have them supported with a bolster, always really nice. But feeling that spine connecting down with the mat. We'll take that nice good morning stretch. Just a great way to wake up that body to start with. Big inhale as you reach those arms up overhead. Feeling stretchy and tall, feeling all of that space being created through the arms, shoulders, and the spine. Take that exhale, let it go. Just soften the arms and bend the elbows. So take one more of those beautiful big stretches. Maybe you kick the legs long, point through the toes, feel the body pulling in opposite directions. As you reach, and start to relax, let it go. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Take that gentle rock from side to side. Make a little tuck of the chin, not rolling onto the top of the head. I'm always encouraging a little bit more length. Take just a nice twist here to start things off. So finding your stillness. Maybe you glue the knees and the ankles together and reach the arms out wide, left and right. Drop the knees off towards one side, letting them slowly drop down. Maybe they don't come all the way down. Just feeling those little rotations through the spine. Maybe you feel it through the organs. Twists are great for detoxing. They twist right through the middle of our body, getting into our digestive tract. We've got our kidneys on the back there, liver, all just getting a little bit of pressure applied to them. We'll bring things back towards neutral, always starting with the head and those knees kick back up. Finding that neutral position, that letting go, feel that blood flow return back. And drop the knees over towards the other side, letting them drop down. However, softening at the shoulders, unclenching the jaw. Taking those little moments to just let the body release. Nice big inhale. And a full exhale. Maybe you add a little depth to your twist. Change it up. And then we'll release it, coming back to center. Knees swinging up over the body. Arms still reaching out ever so slightly. Feel that low back pressing in. Feel that core be strong. Take that tuck of the chin. Excellent. And then we'll just draw some circles with the knees. You can bring your hands onto the knees for more gentleness, but we're just going to warm up through the hips here. So you have the option to keep the Hands alongside the body to kind of help stabilize. Knees can go in the same direction or opposite direction, totally your choice here. Just getting into the hips. If you want a little bit more from this, you can lengthen through the legs and let it be a movement at the ankles. Uses a bit more core, uses a little bit more through those legs and hip flexors. The longer the limbs are in our movements, the stronger the body has to be. It actually adds more weight in. Think of it like taking a cookie sheet out of the oven. If you hold it horizontally and pull it out, it doesn't feel too heavy. But if you were to hold it vertically, holding onto it by the short end of it, you feel much heavier. Give it a whirl. It's the same thing with the body. So you bend the knees, holding it horizontally, just a little bit easier. You lengthen the legs. You feel that extra. Excellent. Make sure you got both directions in. You got circles going all the ways. And then we'll come to some stillness here. Keep those knees still over top of the hips. Let's add in a little bit of movement with the arms. So bring those hands reaching up towards the ceiling here. You feel those shoulders still pressing down and in. This is a great opportunity to not only have a strong core, but to feel the low back muscles be nice and strong, and to kind of zip up through the legs and through that Mula Bandha area, that nice big exhale, like you just jumped into a lake, really cold, and then remembering to breathe. So good. All right, so with our fingers reaching up towards the ceiling, option to just simply leave them here, or we can get some movement in at the shoulders. So just alternating one foot, one arm. They can be the same, the opposite. Just either a little foot tap down towards the ground, arm reaching up overhead, and bring them back towards center and switch towards the other side. Excellent. And so this is where we'll start. It's just a little toe tap, and then the arm reaching back, going to the next. Still working through those hip flexors here. Touch through the core. If you want more for the core, the farther you tap the foot away from the body, the more you'll start to engage there. So good. Feeling that through the shoulders. Excellent. And then we'll find, or we'll add on a little bit. So as you reach things out, we'll come back up, and then we'll open out towards the side, getting some of that opening sensation through that leg. Bring it back up, switching to the other leg, other arm reaching along. We're doing that tap, and then opening up out towards the sides. So good. We'll just take 5. I guess 5 on either side. Let me specify. Finding that openness, reaching the arm out, reaching the leg out. I like doing these opposites. I find that a little bit easier. It's actually kind of hard to do and chat at the same time. I find this be a little bit of brain yoga as well. There we go. You find your rhythm, and it gets a little bit easier. Beautiful. Got one left on either side now. Taking that reach, coming up, taking that openness. Beautiful. Reach it up. Come on back. Find that openness. Excellent. You can either hug the knees in towards the chest or plant the feet down in windshield wiper. What do your hip flexors need? So we'll let that go. Just a great way to work with the hip. Much for the body. It's so good. So roll those shoulders back and down. Make sure you can feel the shoulder blades and all of that surface area that they take up. Take a nice inhale, and on that exhale, take a tuck of the chin, engage the core, lift those hips as you press into the feet. Noticing the knees, are they opening up or falling inward? Let's try to keep a touch of alignment here as we press in nice and strong. Connecting with the breath. Feeling the feet pressing down into heels, ball of the foot, the toes. The whole foot is active. Imagine a little strap around the legs, activating into the sidelines of the legs. Maybe those hips naturally come up a little bit higher as you engage a few more muscles. Maybe a little squeeze through the glutes, working nice and strongly here. Beautiful. And then let's roll down nice and slow, vertebrae by vertebrae. Just coming down. Feeling that low back touch down. Excellent. Pressing into the feet. Let's rise back up. Just a quick little break there. And as those feet are nice and active, that invisible strap around the legs, nice and strong through the legs. Maybe you also start to notice those shoulders. Can you really press those shoulders down a little bit more? Feel that openness through the collarbone. So a nice little back bend. And can you feel that space being created through the spine? Legs still nice and strong. Maybe you start to press the palms of the hands down to activate into the arms a little bit more. So good. Option to take a little bit of a supported bridge here. So if you've got the arms pressing down, you can just press into the elbows and maybe bring the hands underneath the hips. Feel that bit of support. A little bit of ease up off the legs. Still feeling the alignment of the knees and the feet. And then we'll release those hands back down. Start to feel the legs be active again. Start to feel that on the low back. And let's roll down nice and slow. Give that little massage along the muscles of the vertebrae in the back, in the low back. Beautiful. We'll take one more, finding that inhale, that exhale to press into the feet. Knees still nicely aligned, shoulders pressing in. Maybe you activate into the arms to start off your nice tuck of the chin. And let's find some openness through the arms. So I'm going to put my palms facing up, and I'm just going to reach the arms up overhead and take a nice big stretch, reaching nice and tall. I linked my thumbs together, just kind of naturally happen, just so I can kind of pull kind of one hand and then the next up a little bit more. Maybe press those hips up a little bit stronger, feeling those shoulders be the anchor point and the feet. Excellent. We'll take 5 taps here. Option to just lower the hips down and tap, or to bring the hands up and lower the hips at the same time. So starting now, take that first one, little tap down, and then reach the arms back overhead, send the hips up. Take that second one, so good. Reach it up overhead, keep the legs nice and strong. Excellent, reaching it up. Here's number 4. And that last little tap down, hands reach up. Send those hips back up, reach those arms up overhead, and then sweep those hands back alongside the body and roll down nice and slow, relaxing the body, relaxing the glutes as you come down. Beautiful. You can take a little windshield wiper, hug the knees in towards the chest. Finding that stillness. And then we'll roll ourselves up towards a seated position, either rock and rolling up or just gently rolling onto your side and coming up. Finding a comfortable seat. You're using a prop if you need a little height under the hips. It was really good for opening up into the hips. Sitting nice and tall. Take that inhale, extend the crown of the head up a little bit more. Take that exhale, relax those shoulders back and down. Another nice big inhale, feeling that length. Take that exhale, a little engagement through the core, drawing those lower ribs in. And just taking that nice regular rate of breathing, but with everything nicely stacked and aligned. Core still engaged, feel those low back muscles still working. Finding the breath. with the palms facing up just to feel that bit of difference on the shoulders. Beautiful. Work with some breath technique here. Coming into some equal part breathing. So noticing the inhale and the exhale. Adding a count to the breath and letting that number be the same for both inhale and exhale. Maybe you start with an easy number like 4 or 5. Usually our exhale is a little bit longer, so this breath usually involves a little bit of restriction on the exhale, making it a little bit shorter, and forces you to lengthen that inhale a little bit longer, letting everything come to that balance, that equal of in and out. And then letting that breath just return to that natural rhythm. On that next inhale that you take, we'll start to sweep the arms up overhead. Take that nice big stretch up. On the exhale, draw the hands down. Inhale to rise up, get nice and tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Maybe you start to let this be a little more like a seated cat-cow. Getting in a little back bend and taking a little bow as you lower down. Great way to get into the spine. Here's our warm up for the back. Warm up for the arms and the shoulders. Warm up for the lungs, getting into those nice big breaths. Taking several more of these, really start to feel into the movement. Starting to feel the stretch, feel that heart lifting up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, maybe really press those shoulder blades back, accentuating that movement, letting it feel good. If when you take that inhale, you look up, you have the option to get into the throat here as well, not letting the head just passively tip back, but to kind of imagine pressing the chin up towards the ceiling. Take that exhale, drop it down, tuck that chin in towards the chest. And all different ways that you can activate here. And we'll take 3 to 5 more, depending on the rate that you're breathing and moving at. Maybe you wanted to create a little heat, so you're moving a little faster. Maybe you want to get deep into the stretches, so you're moving a little slower. Last one. Take that nice big inhale, reach it up nice and tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Rolling those shoulders back and down, lengthening through the spine. Beautiful. Connecting back with just that stillness, with that strong core. So good. Let's switch the feet. Opposite foot in front or on top. Just changing up how you're sitting. If you've got the legs extended, you can just hang out as is. Let's take that inhale and reach it up overhead and come right into a side bend, tipping over towards one side. Drop that lower arm down. Look up towards the ceiling. Finding that openness through the shoulders, stacking shoulder over shoulder. So even if the hand is close, you can still create that openness or that little squeeze through the shoulder blade. You can walk the hand out longer, or even come down onto elbow or forearm. Feeling still that little squeeze through shoulder blade, and maybe you start to feel it through the rib cage. If you want more for that side body, start to reach more overhead. Feel that little pull. And keep those legs anchored down, pressing down with strength. Beautiful. Press into that bottom arm. Let's float up towards the ceiling. Take a stretch here. Reach it up. And then off towards that other side, dropping the arm down, looking up towards the ceiling. You can just reach up toward the ceiling to start with as you get into that side body, or maybe that hand is closed. As you take that little squeeze the shoulder blades on this side, the ears are far from the shoulders. Maybe you add in that little bit of depth as you find that openness, or reach the arm overhead. Feeling that maybe through the rib cage, keep pressing those legs down. So good. Come on back up, reach it up nice and tall, take a nice big stretch. Take an exhale, find a forward fold. Let this feel good on the hips and low back. So maybe the hands are close, you're up higher. Maybe you fold down and rest the forearms or the elbows on the knees, or even on a block or a bolster. Your choice to work with a nice flat back here. Or to let everything melt and drop that forehead and release the neck down. And taking another full breath in. Full exhale. See if you can soften a little bit more here. Maybe side out. On that inhale, let's rise up halfway. Find that length through the spine. And then walk yourself back up towards that nice neutral seated. Beautiful. Just let the hands rest comfortably. Roll the shoulders back and down. And let's get into the neck a little bit here. Waking up through the neck and the shoulders just a touch. Let's drop the chin all the way down towards the collarbone. And then just start to rotate ear over towards one shoulder. Take a little pause here, start to feel that. You can actively press that shoulder down or that opposite shoulder, even holding on to it, pressing down to get a little more. I prefer this opposed to holding the head and yanking the head. So a nice way to get deeper into the stretch. And then bring the chin back down through center, dropping the head down over towards the other side. Bring the ear towards the shoulder. Option to hold that opposite shoulder, and pressing it down. Just feeling how things feel like this. I'll add a few different variations into this to get deeper into the shoulder and into the neck at the same time. And start to release, bringing hand down, bring the chin down, bring the chin back up towards center. Let's try a little fun one here. Now, squeeze those shoulders up towards the ears. Really squeeze, create that tension. Press the shoulders all the way back and align this with your exhale and drop the shoulders down. Take that breath out. So good. Feeling all of those collarbones pressing open. Feel that little squeeze through shoulder blades. Excellent. Drop the chin down, but keep the shoulders really active here. So chin drops down, and then start on that first side again. Can you already feel that difference through the neck and through the shoulders? Things are pulling maybe a little deeper in a few more areas. Excellent. You can reach for that opposite shoulder, but try to keep everything active. Take that release of the hand or the shoulder. The chin comes down towards center. Maybe take a little moment and really squeeze those shoulders back and down one more time. And then bring the ear towards the other side. You can adjust the angle of the chin. Maybe it tucks in a little bit more. Maybe you start to look up just a little bit and reach for that shoulder. Take that full release, letting go of shoulder. Bring the chin back down. Bring the head back up. Excellent. Let's get the arms involved here a little bit. Maybe take a little break and just roll through the shoulders. Do one and then the next are both together. And go backwards. Maybe take a few forwards as well. Finishing off by taking a few more. Rotating backwards just to keep that openness. Excellent. I'm going to bring my right hand behind my body, palm facing out or back the hand touching in towards the back. You can simply hang out here, or you can reach that hand a little bit farther. Sometimes I like to just hold on to the arm here. In lots of yoga in the videos, you'll see them reaching and binding onto their leg, but that's not always accessible, especially if you have short little arms like I do. I just like to hold on to the other one, start to feel that stretch. Rotate that right shoulder a little bit farther back, still feeling that there. And then we'll come into that same neck stretch. So take an inhale to get tall here first. And that exhale, drop the chin down, and then bring the ear over towards that left shoulder. Feeling now that stretch, maybe really deepen into the neck and also into the front of the shoulder, into the back of the shoulder. If you want more, just simply that hand is reaching onto the arm, just add a little bit of resistance there. You can adjust the angle that the chin is at. Take that exhale, let everything soften. Start to bring that chin back towards center. Bring the head back up and slowly release the arm. Give the arm a little shake out. A little move through the shoulder. Work on your dance moves. And then we'll come into the other side. And this time, left hand tucking behind the back, palm facing out. And you can just hang out on the spine or on the low back if that's something you want. You still get into that stretch as you open up, kind of resist or press the hand in towards the back. Or you can reach it for the arm, drawing that arm more towards the back of the body. Take that inhale, sit nice and tall, extend the crown of the head up. That exhale, tuck the chin down. Bring the head over towards that opposite side, over towards the right. Nice stretch through the neck, adjust the angle of the chin. Maybe add in that little bit of resistance, pressing the hand against the arm against the hand, or just pressing the palm or the back of the hand in more towards the spine if you have it just resting on the back. And start to release, bring the head back towards center and floats up. And arms release. Take a nice big stretch. You can reach it up if you want. I'm going to take just a little rock from side to side. And then exhale, find a nice little forward fold. Reaching the hands down and create a little pull sensation. So the shoulders roll back and down. Feel that little stretch through the shoulders. We create that push sensation, rounding through the spine and tucking the chin in. Create one more pull sensation, finding that length. And then coming back up towards seated. Beautiful. And we'll spin around into our all fours position. If you need to pad up the knees, we're going to do some work in puppy pose or child's pose. So if you need a little bolster or something to sit on, it's really nice if you've got a couple of pillows. That is a great option. I'm primarily wanting to work in puppy pose to work on stretching through the back, the arms, and the shoulders. But that can often get too intensive. So let me just show you quick the difference, and then you can choose which one you want to get into. So from your all fours position, if you just work on sitting back towards the feet and bowing everything down, this is your child's pose. So the knees can be together, or lots of people like to bring the knees nice and wide. It gets a little bit more into the hips. And realistically, you go lower so you feel better about it. So this is a great option here. You can work on walking the hands over towards one side and the other side. Get into the side body. So this is your child's pose, a little bit more gentle on the body. Or you can work at your puppy pose. And you can always switch at any point in between. So starting in that all fours position, keeping the hips stacked right over the knees, and instead of sitting back, we're going to walk our arms forward to create that bowing down or melting the heart down sensation. So my arms are going to stay a little bit more active here. Even if the elbows touch down, you can let this be more restorative should you choose. Feel that back bend. Maybe the head just kind of dangles or the chin tucks in. Maybe you can get the forehead down. If you can easily get the forehead down, start to think about maybe bringing the chin down. Feeling that nice stretch, not only through the arms and the shoulders, but feeling that arching through the back. Send those hips up nice and high. So this is your puppy pose, your choice to keep this or to walk things back and take that child's pose. So you can feel the difference though in how your puppy pose is a little bit more active. You can still make it passive and relax down into it. Starting to settle things down, taking a few of these longer holds. Taking another full breath in, find the inhale. Full breath out, soften on that exhale. In your puppy pose, start to press into those hands to lift the elbows up and tuck the chin back underneath. Especially if you had the chin pressing down towards the ground. And then just inch the hands back up under the shoulders. That's a nice big arch on the back. So maybe come into that angry cat pose, pressing the shoulders up towards the ceiling. Take that release, maybe take a little cow pose, feeling now maybe the extra ease. Another nice cat. We'll take a few just back and forth. Feeling the movement of the spine, one to the next. Our puppy pose targets that area that we usually hunch in. It's a great way to kind of counter that hunch. So if you're really feeling it, odds are you need it a little more, or even a little deeper. We'll cat cow that out. So good. And then we'll come back towards stillness. We'll flip things around as we lay down on our backs. Moving slowly and gently. Bending the knees and planting the feet. Feeling the spine press in. Rolling those shoulders back and down. And taking that little tuck with the chin. Wanting to continue to stretch through the shoulders and through the arms. So with the feet planted. I'm going to start with my left hand, and maybe you have that little arch in your back. We're going to work on scooching the hand under there. So I just roll off towards the right side to get the left hand under. Make sure the palm is facing down towards the ground here. Rolling the body back onto the hand, and take a little moment here and just notice the left arm. See if you can relax the shoulder or the elbow. If you need more challenge here, you slide the hand up a little bit higher. If you need less challenge, the hand comes down a little bit lower. Keep in mind that as we apply time, as we hold the posture, it will often naturally feel a little bit harder as time goes on. So maybe start a little bit more gentle than you normally would. Let's get into the legs as well. I'm going to come into a little cobbler pose, walking the edges of the feet together, letting the knees fall open. Soles of the feet come to touch. We've got openness through the hips. Maybe you feel that little pull through inner thighs, the pull of gravity gently presses down on the knees. That right hand, option is to keep it hanging out alongside the body. Or you can sweep it up overhead, or even tuck the head under the head as a little pillow. Maybe it hangs out overhead or reaching upwards. Finding softness and stillness as we hold. And checking in with the mind. Start to come into a full breath. Breathing with the diaphragm, feeling the rise and fall in the abdomen. Option to breathe both through the lungs and through that diaphragm area. Or maybe try just to breathe low, letting the rib cage and the lungs stay just as they are, and just feeling the rise and fall through the torso, through that belly area. Taking a few more of those big breaths. Really expanding that belly button up towards the ceiling. Feeling everything draw back in. And then returning to a more normal rate of breathing. Just feeling the difference. Starting to bring that right hand back more alongside the body. And start to bring those knees back up towards the ceiling. Planting the feet down. Taking that gentle roll more towards the right side to release the left hand. Come into a little mini Shavasana. Maybe arms are alongside the body, palms down. Maybe try palms up. And just feeling that little return of blood flow and energy through the shoulders and the hips. Maybe you feel a little tingle sensation, or maybe you don't. Not letting the go or the should get in the way. Before we come into the other side, let's just take one more good morning stretch, just stretching out through the shoulders. Feeling that left side, maybe openness created, reaching those arms up. And let exhale back alongside the body. Right palm faces down. And gentle roll to the left side, tuck the left hand underneath. Noticing this might be your tighter side or your more open side. Maybe that hand doesn't sit exactly as that left hand did. Take a little moment here to notice that right arm. Seeing if you can soften the hand to the elbow and the shoulders. Maybe you walk that hand a little bit farther down. Maybe walk it a little higher up. Here, instead of external rotation like you got in the cobbler's pose, I want a little more internal rotation. So I'm going to walk my feet towards the outer edges of the mat and let the knees fall inwards. Knees do not have to come to touch. Just feel that rotation in at the hip of that leg bone, just gently rotating inwards. That left hand can sweep up overhead. Maybe it's gotten enough stretch, kind of simply just hangs out, or maybe it wants a little bit more stretch. But the focus point should be on that right shoulder, the right arm. Always working on softening and letting it go. Still keeping that ever so gentle tuck of the chin. And relaxing all the muscles through the face. Connecting with the breath. If you want to come back into that Buddha breath or that big belly breathing, you're welcome to come into that. Maybe you accentuate it, focusing on really pressing the belly button up towards the ceiling. And as everything draws in, accentuating that to really trying to pull the belly button towards the spine, hollowing out the abdomen area. Coming back into that full breath. Taking a full breath in. A full breath out. Bringing that left hand back alongside the body. And starting to slowly heel toe the feet back underneath the knees. And taking that gentle roll so the hand can easily untuck under the back. And take that little mini shavasana on this side. Maybe try palms facing up. Just let everything return to neutral or normal. You can extend the legs here too if you'd like. Little wiggles in the fingers and toes, bending the knees and planting the feet back down. Let's take that nice good morning stretch, sweeping those arms up overhead. Reaching so nice and tall. Lots of work on the shoulders today. Let it feel good as you stretch it out. shoulders back down. We're going to come into a little supported fish. If you have a bolster or a block, that is a great way to do it. Or we can come into more of that traditional full fish kind of a mode. It's a wonderful back bend. And so there's a couple of different ways of doing it. Let me show you your options and then you can choose. Let me just grab the block that is here. Usually you need a little prop for the spine and one for the head. If you're using the block method, I love these yoga blocks. If anyone needs one, just message me. I'll hook you up somehow. I like the long edge of the block. So the block has the low, the medium, and the high setting. So we're looking for that medium setting, nice long side of the block. Finding the low rib where it would connect in. This is for a supported version. And just aligning it along the spine. And then working on leaning back, having the block support you. You're gonna hold the head up. If you don't have another block to support the head, you can let the head drop down. Just feel that nice bend to the back. I like the block version because it kind of helps you feel where you go if you don't have any of the supports, because then we'll be using our elbows and our hands more so underneath the rib cage. So this is the block version. The bolster or the cushion version is the same kind of thing, but with a much larger prop. Even if you have a second yoga mat, rolling that up and aligning it there along the spine and laying back on it feels really good. But if you don't have any props at home, that is a-okay. We can still work with that. And so I like to start from more of this seated up position and just plant my elbows back behind me. Finding openness here, rolling those shoulders back and down. And just letting the head start to fall back. Staying in control of the neck. Lots of people don't love that pressure on the neck, so you can actually even do this from a laying down position. Coming into almost a supported bridge pose. Actually, yeah, let's use more of a supported bridge pose and more of that full fish pose. You don't have any props. Bringing the hands under the hips. Trying to get that nice 90 degrees of the L or the elbow. Little tuck of the chin. I guess if you have a block, you could do that supported bridge pose as well. And just taking a few breaths. Ultimately, just trying to open up through the shoulders, through the collarbone. And then we'll start to release that. I love to just hear that supported fish, tuck the chin in, and then press on up nice and slowly. You know, for the supported bridge, release the hands from underneath, and roll back down. And we'll take that release and hug the knees in towards the chest. Maybe take a little rock from side to side, a little massage on that back. Keeping that nice tuck to the chin. Maybe you go for the happy baby. Feeling the hips, the shoulders open up. Feeling that little bit of resistance as you maybe a little bit more actively pull into the feet, kick into the hands. Still be nice and gentle though. And then take any other pose or movement your body wants to take before you settle into your final Shavasana. Finding any of those final movements. as you're ready, you can find that final pose. The shorter shavasana, we've taken lots of breath work through our other poses, stilling the mind. Maybe do that little scan through the body, a nice check-in with yourself. See how a little bit of movement and stretching, how some breathing has impacted you. I think sometimes as we take time to do something that's good for us, if we're just rushing off to one task and then the next, you don't often take that moment to notice the difference, to evaluate whether or not that was beneficial for you or how that was beneficial. Noticing maybe different ways that it might have impacted you. Do you feel a little more at peace or at ease? The muscles and the tendons in your body feel a little better, or which ones do? Starting to bring your awareness full circle. Setting that intention of what you want to happen, and then evaluating what did happen at the end. That helps us grow our practice and be a little mindful of next time what we might need or not need. And all those little check-ins that happen. But more so as we learn to do that, what a wonderful skill that is, of setting an intention. And then evaluating whether or not that was beneficial or what we needed, or just noticing what we actually got out of it. It can help us in so many other areas of our life. Finding different things that we can improve on or change. Taking time to notice what we can be thankful for. Noticing those little blessings in our life. Just simply by taking those few moments to reflect. Find a nice big inhale. Breathe in fully. Big exhale, let it out. Take one more big breath in. Take a big exhale, release. Start to wiggle into fingers and toes and wake the body up. If you need more time in your shavasana, go ahead. But this is where I get ready to leave you and bid you adieu. Finding some more movement and maybe coming up towards seated. Take a little moment in a nice little fetal position, not rolling on to your side, bottom arm as a pillow, little bend to the knees. And then as you're ready, starting to rise up, you can keep the eyes closed. And sitting tall, taking that inhale to really lengthen the spine, that exhale to relax the shoulder. Bring the hands towards heart center, that position of gratitude, thankfulness, thinking of something that you can appreciate. And thank you for sharing your practice with me and following along. May the rest of your day be filled with joy, and may you always be blessed. Namaste. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.